Hi, Joe Bonnier for FastPitchPower.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to eat or what to eat if you're a softball player or anyone looking to improve performance or your physique, overall health and wellness through eating better. Nutrition is a huge topic and an even bigger obstacle for many people. I can tell you from personal experience, I can disarm somebody's preconceived notions about exercise and start to get them doing the right things, but it's much more difficult to change somebody's eating habits. It's even more difficult to get a young athlete to change their eating habits when what they eat is determined by what's put in their cupboards and in the refrigerator by their parents. But I always say that if you go home as an athlete and you tell your parents you want to start eating better, you want to start eating more vegetables or including a little bit more protein in your diet, parents are probably going to be on board. I know that there's a line there that I need to give kids and anyone really practical, again, sustainable strategies or pieces of advice, all right, that don't really insult what's already in their cupboards or refrigerators. Again, we all have different levels of ambition to upgrade our dietary habits. I'm somebody that's willing to control everything that goes into my diet, count calories, count macronutrients. Some people just want 3 simple things they can do. Some people want 1. 1 is typically the best strategy. If I give you 1 piece of advice, there's a 90 or 100% chance you can install that after this video is done. If I give you 10 pieces of advice, there's little chance that you'll install any of them. Some people are only looking for the most simple strategies that they can do right away. So regardless of your ambition, that's what I'm calling it. All right, whether you want to include 1 or install 10, it doesn't matter. All right, it's progress. But regardless of your ambition, hopefully I point you in the right direction and get you making better decisions when it comes to your diet. All right, irrespective of your goal. Again, this has to be practical, it has to be sustainable, and it has to be adjustable on an individual basis. Moving forward, I'm starting with the most complicated approach, but the most evidence-based and science-supported approach, and that is knowing exactly what's going into your body. Nobody likes to count calories. It seems overwhelming. It seems meticulous. All right, you imagine writing things down in a notepad while you're chopping things and dicing and weighing and measuring everything with measuring cups as you prepare foods for the day or for the week. That's miserable. It's the least practical approach and only fits so many people's daily routine. But if you're willing to take that on, I can tell you that knowing your numbers, and those numbers I'm talking about is total energy and calories, and the distribution of those numbers between nutrients, protein, carbohydrates, fat, and I'm going to include fiber here, is the best way to get a stranglehold, a chokehold, all right, on your diet. So if you take your body as a business, knowing your numbers is the best advice. Okay? But it's not practical for everyone. But for people who are interested in it, I'm going to give you the tools that I use. I can't say this enough that I'm not professionally A++ personality. I want the easiest methods. I want the simplest methods to get the best results as much as anyone. So I'm going to show you the tools that I use to monitor and control my diet based on my goals on a daily basis. That's later on in the video. Some people want a daily diet. Just show me what I need to eat, or show me what it looks like to eat quote-unquote healthy or balanced. And some people just want 1 or 2 pieces of advice to upgrade each meal. All right, so hopefully I give you kind of a spectrum of direction here. All right, first piece of advice is that you have to know your numbers. And based on your age, your height, and your weight, and levels of activity, those numbers will be different. And I'm going to use a fictional case study here. All right, and I'm going to show you where I got these numbers from at the end of the video, so don't worry about the numbers, just appreciate that I am using numbers to begin. Again, these are for the people that have the ambition to control and monitor everything. All right, those A++ personalities. For an athlete, for a 16-year-old female athlete who's 5'7" and 140 pounds, her caloric and nutrient requirements breaks down to about 2,000 calories a day. This is with 3 to 4 softball and fitness responsibilities throughout the week. 2,000 calories a day, broken down to about 150 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbohydrates, 70 grams of fat, and 30 grams of fiber, and this is going to be reflected in my daily sample. Now, I have a blue arrow pointing to protein because this is the magic number. This has to stay stable. We have to be at least at 1 gram per pound body weight. 1 gram of protein per pound body weight distributed over the course of the day. That sounds like a lot and very overwhelming to some people. I don't really know why, because when you break it down, you'll see that it's not really any different than a normal balanced diet, in my opinion. Again, this isn't a crazy, I'm not promoting any one type of diet, just moderation, balance, but calculated moderation and balance. In this example, it's 200 grams of carbs and 70 grams of fat. All right, this has to be stable. All right, these can be adjusted, right? If you respect the total energy and you respect protein, and fiber is also super, super important. We tend to eat less and less of it, which is not healthy for us. We need to keep that stable as well. These can fluctuate moderately, all right? But this is really, I had that arrow there for a reason. So, knowing if you knew your numbers, how would that break down to a 2,000 calorie a day diet that's a maintenance level energy intake for a 16-year-old athlete, 5'7" and 140 pounds? All right. Before moving on, so much nutrition advice out there, so many different diets that unfortunately have demonized some food groups, all right, some nutrients, some additives, sugar, carbs, dairy, wheat, nuts have all been considered bad at one point. Now I understand if you have allergies, all right, you're a different situation. So if you see things that you may be allergic to in this diet, know that this is only a sample. I'm not recommending these foods. This is just a sample that reflects maintenance level energy intake with proper distribution of nutrients for my athlete here. Okay, what does this look like? 2,000 calories. What does 2,000 calories look like with this amount of protein and that amount of fiber? For breakfast, 1 cup of Honey Nut Cheerios and 1 cup of milk. It might not look like the most healthy breakfast, okay, but we have a lot of time throughout the rest of the day. We don't have a lot of time in the morning for most athletes. Most athletes complain, I'm running out the door, I don't have much time, all right, I don't get up early enough. I'm not going to fight that battle. Okay, if you want to get up early and you value breakfast and you value performance, then get up earlier and eat a substantial breakfast. If you're running out the door, get a small bowl of cereal and move on. Okay, and make the rest of the day work. For lunch, turkey sandwich. How standard is that? 2 pieces of high fiber bread. High fiber is important here because it's going to be hard to fit that amount of fiber throughout the rest of the day with a small breakfast. High fiber bread, 1/3 of a pound of sliced turkey. 1/3 of a pound sounds like a lot. It's not at all. If you know what a pound of sliced deli meat looks like, it's 1/3 of that stack. It's absolutely not a lot of meat. 1 slice of cheese, 1 tablespoon of mayo. That's just one slice, one side of the bread evenly spread across the bread. 1 cup of berries. Don't have fruit snacks. Substitute fruit snacks for berries, right? And you have a typical cold lunch for school. Afternoon. All right, 1 Greek yogurt, 1 banana, and this is something that this is kind of a exclusive recommendation that people don't normally install. Take 1 scoop of whey protein powder from GNC or from wherever you're going to get your protein powder from or supplements from. Mix it in the Greek yogurt. This will sweeten the Greek yogurt, and then either eat your banana on the side or slice up the banana and put it in the yogurt, and you have a pretty sweet afternoon dessert type meal. If you're a girl, if you're a parent who's like, ew, protein powder, that sounds disgusting, honestly, I don't know what to say to you. All right, you have to be a little bit open-minded here to take on some of this advice. I can't be flexible for everyone. All I got to say is if you're not willing to do the protein powder, then you better find your protein somewhere else in the diet. This is why I'm not preaching one diet. I'm starting with the most evidence-based approach, and then you need to find a way to make it work. So if you're not going to include protein in this afternoon snack, then you better upgrade for dinner or have something before you go to bed. Moving on to dinner. 1 palm size of chicken. Now, why did I call it 1 palm size? That typically relates to about 6 ounces of chicken, which is going to fit our desired nutrients and energy intake. 1 cup of pasta and a 1/2 cup of pasta sauce. Right? Instead of spooning out pasta onto a dish, spoon everything out with a measuring cup. Instead of combining sauce with your pasta, right? Ladle sauce per plate with, again, a 1/2 cup or whatever measuring cup you're going to use. A palm size of meat, a palm size of protein, palm size or a fist size of carbs are kind of good practical guidelines if you're going to design your plate per meal. Right, one fist of protein or 1 palm of protein, one fist of like starchy carbs like potatoes, rice, pasta, and then 1 fist or 1 small bowl of vegetables. It could be a small salad, mixed vegetables, a fist size of steamed vegetables, or like in our lunch example, 1 cup of berries. A fist is about a cup size, so 1 small cup, Tupperware cup of berries. So the palm and the fist analogy really works well. Again, if you don't want to count numbers, that's something I started with in the beginning of this video. Not everybody's going to be willing to count numbers, but if you want those practical strategies, palm and a fist, palm and 2 fists. Okay? Finishing our dinner with, again, salad with mixed vegetables. This could be steamed vegetables, and then I added 2 tablespoons of olive oil with some vinegar. All of that is a pretty normal diet. I don't think I'm preaching anything too crazy. I think this is pretty balanced, but this comes down to an evidence-based diet. Again, maintenance level energy, proper nutrient breakdown for a 16-year-old female athlete who's 5'7", 140 pounds. Where did I get those numbers? 2 websites that I use. One is iifym.com. If it fits your macros. Macros means macronutrients. Use the calculators on iifym.com, right, to come up with your numbers based on your situation. It's the easiest way, again, to begin to monitor your own diet. Along with that, if you don't want to do that, right, if you want to just know what you're putting into your body, the easiest way to know what you're putting into your body is to download the MyFitnessPal app on your phone, iPhone or Android. I think I have an iPhone. MyFitnessPal, this is like, it's so dummy proof. You can either install the foods that you eat on an individual basis. You look them up, they come up, it gives you a million different options per food. You can just type in, potato, and eventually you'll come up with something that resembles what you used in your meal. Or there's a barcode scanner piece to this app where you can scan if you have a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of processed foods because I don't want to demonize any foods, but if you have a lot of food in boxes or packaging, if that package has a barcode on it, you zap the barcode with your phone, and it'll bring up the nutrition information, exactly what that product is. So if I'm eating English muffins for breakfast, it's a specialty English muffin like cinnamon raisin, and I don't want to add in each nutrient, or I don't want to add it in on my own. I can just zap or take a picture of the barcode, and all the information comes up. You just have to select how many or how much of the food you ate. These are the easiest tools possible, all right, to use to get a chokehold on exactly what you're putting in your body. All right. I can't say this enough. I don't know if this is a tangent or not, but I don't want to demonize any food. Wheat, sugar, corn, high fructose corn syrup. You can't go to a family dinner. You can't go to a team function. Your team's going to eat at McDonald's. They're going to eat at Golden Corral. They're going to eat at Denny's or IHOP at some point. If you walk in looking at the menu and thinking bad, unhealthy, you're going to feel very restricted. And the worst thing you can do is have anxiety over food. If you kind of know what different foods look like and the amount that corresponds to, you're going to feel so much more freedom when you're eating, and that is so important. All right? But that's for people who want this, have that level of ambition to know. Okay? If you don't want to count, use the fist and palm analogies. 2 fists of carbs, 1 palm of protein, meat, eggs, fish per meal on your plate. So it's like a third of your plate is protein, and then 2/3 are carbs. One of those thirds being from like a pasta or rice or potato. The other third being from fruit or vegetables. Okay, that's a pretty good plan. Now, the most simple advice I can give, the action steps that any athlete can take with them, because I really believe from practical experience that carbs are the staple in our diets. I don't want to say unfortunately, but the reality is that any athlete is most likely to get a substantial amount of carbs at each meal. Cheerios or cereal for breakfast, or a bagel for breakfast, bread at lunch, pasta, rice, potatoes, pizza for dinner. Okay, the carbs are already there. Your action steps for the most simple action steps I can give you is, can you add one or two of these things at every single meal? Meat, eggs as your protein source, nuts, vegetables, fruit. Now again, I don't want to hold certain foods on a pedestal, I don't want to demonize certain foods, but what happens is if you start to add these in, they'll begin to make you feel more full. They'll begin to make sure that your nutrient breakdown and your diet is balanced more appropriately. All right, and you're less likely, most importantly, you're less likely to overeat the high carb and high fat foods, all right, which aren't bad. It's just bad when there's too much of carbs and fat and not enough protein and fiber. Okay, like Cheerios, a bagel, pizza certainly fulfill their role as carb sources. Pasta, same thing, but they're low protein and they're low fiber. All right, so we're missing out. So to keep a balanced approach, all right, get these things in your diet more often. Not exclusively, more often. All right, and your diet will work itself out. That's all I'm going to say because, again, I'm not a nutrition expert. I'm just a vehicle to direct you towards better habits. So regardless of your ambition, if you want to count calories, here are your tools. iifym.com and MyFitnessPal. Begin to get control of your diet. If you just want a sample diet plan for about a 2,000 calorie a day diet, this is what it looks like. And if you want the most simple action steps to implement today, meat, eggs, nuts, vegetables, fruit, all right, 1 or 2 of those at every meal, and your diet will begin to become more balanced, and you'll make fewer and fewer poor decisions. You won't snack as much, all right, and your diet will be more balanced at the end of the day. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns on an individual or situational basis, let me know through the comment section underneath this video on fastpitchpower.com, or send me an email to joe@fastpitchpower.com. Thanks for watching.